All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Mood Monday. I am your coach, Diesel, right? Spiritual enlightenment, life purpose, and emotional intelligence is what I'm here to help you develop, right? So today's reminder is simple but powerful. You don't have to give everybody access to you. Not everyone deserves your time, attention, your energy. Your peace is not a public park. Let's get into it. First off, your spirit is not for sale. Your time is not disposable. You have a finite amount on this earth, and most of us have no clue when that clock is up and is going to stop ticking. So why are you letting people rent space in your mind for free? Don't do that. I used to think that sometimes saying no when I actually could do it made me cold, or it made me selfish, that setting boundaries made me seem like a bad person, that if I pulled away, I was somehow failing the people around me. If I didn't answer my phone, then why did I even give them the number? You feel me? I thought that I had to be available for people as long as I had the time to do it. But the truth is, the more that I kept saying yes to things, the more drained that I started to be, and the further I got from who I actually wanted to be and doing the things I wanted to do, right? The worst part about it is people will keep taking from you, not because they're evil, but because they're used to it. They're used to getting the yes. They're used to you being available. They're used to you providing your services at a lesser rate or fee. They want the cheaper work because you will say yes. They've gotten comfortable with the version of you who overgives, overextends, and overexplains. Sometimes just overexplaining allows people to know that you're overly invested, or they're struggling to say no right now. So if I push a couple more times or say the right thing, or if you overexplain, they'll listen to your explanation and come up with reasons that will work around it. Oh, you said you can't do it on Tuesday because this. Well, we could wait until Friday and do it. No, I don't want to do it. It's not that I can't. You feel me? You have to say less. Just say no. Instead of saying, yeah, Tuesday doesn't really work for me, just be like, I'm not really interested. You feel me? We'll get more into that as we go along. But people get comfortable with a version of you who overgives, overextends, and overexplains if you always show up as that person. And overexplaining will give them room to figure out how they can maneuver around your unwillingness to do it if you don't straight out say no. So if you're tired emotionally, spiritually, or mentally, it's okay. You're not broken. You're probably just overextending yourself and overgiving yourself to people who don't realize it or appreciate it. And so it's just time to bring that energy back. Center all that right back here, baby. I'm playing, but not really. So here's the real difference between walls and boundaries, right? Walls are about fear. Boundaries are about love, love for yourself, love for your peace, love for your purpose. And if you're someone who's gone through a whole lot of us have, love for your own healing. This week, your only job is to check your access list. Who and what are draining you? Who and what pours into you? What are you tolerating just to avoid confrontation? This has been one of my biggest weaknesses, especially with one of my last jobs, where I would just go along with things because I didn't want to start a bigger argument, right? And that just ended up with me doing more work than I was even supposed to be doing, because I wouldn't want to be like, you didn't hire me for this, right? Or this goes beyond my scope of expertise, right? I would just be like, all right, I just wouldn't talk about it much, or like I would avoid doing those works or those tasks as long as possible, or try and put them off on somebody else, which just made me have to spend more mental capacity trying to figure out how to avoid doing things that I wasn't supposed to be responsible for to begin with, when I could have just said no, or just stopped giving that person access to me, right? And eventually I did, but by the point that I did it, I was so mentally drained that I couldn't even focus on my own task in my own projects. And that's why I ended up saying no, is because I realized how much of my own endeavors were suffering. Do not be me. Do not let your own work projects and endeavors suffer before you realize that you need to refocus and recenter your time. So here's the Mood Monday prompt that I'm going to give to you. Write down 3 things that you are no longer available for. Not out of hate, not out of ego, but out of love for your evolution. We cannot stay doing the same things in the same place and expect forward progression and movement, right? So once you write those 3 things, I want you to then write down 3 things that you are calling in instead. So example, I'm no longer available for inconsistent energy. I'm calling in clarity, consistency, and peace. I'm no longer available for being everyone's emotional dump. I'm calling in mutual support and safe space. I remember one day I was in the middle of working on a project and this girl called me and was just like, can I talk to you really quick? I have so much going on. And I was just like, Technically I can put this project down right now and take this time to listen to her. But I have no idea how long she's going to talk to me. I have no idea what the topic is going to be. I have no idea how emotionally involved I'm going to become. And if my brain is going to be able to quickly refocus on the task that I'm in the middle of. I told her no. You feel me? I felt bad because I did care and I did want to listen. I said, right this second, I'm in the middle of something and I cannot do this. I will call you back when I'm free. I called her back. We spent a cool hour on the phone. After we got done, I didn't have the mental capacity to have finished the work that I was doing. You feel me? So I was justified in doing so because it wasn't out of a lack of empathy. It was just out of a lack of wanting to throw myself off. I respected myself enough to say no at the time being. So say this out loud. You can say it silently, but it's better if you say it out loud and repeat it as if it's a reset. I honor my boundaries because I honor myself. I am no longer shrinking to make others feel comfortable. I am allowed to rest. I am allowed to protect my energy. I am sacred. My peace is sacred and my path is sacred. This is something that I've had to say a lot. I am no longer shrinking myself to make others comfortable. As far as I can remember, from elementary school up until a couple years ago, I've always thought about what it was I was doing or saying and how other people were perceiving it, probably since like the 6th grade, right? And I would avoid doing and saying and behaving certain ways because I was unsure of how it would be perceived by those around me. As soon as I stopped doing that, do you know how many people said, I love being around you? I love the way you show up. I love your authentic energy. Like, I didn't want to be overly excited about things. I didn't want to be loud about stuff. I didn't want to be too judgmental about stuff. So I would just be quiet. And so people just knew me as the fly kid, the cute guy, you feel me, the talented person, but they had no idea what I actually cared about, what I thought about things, none of that, right? And then I realized that the more that I show up as my full self, my quirky self, my funny self, like, it gave other people the space to observe how I was carefree and start adapting that same type of energy into their own lives, right? And then I am allowed to rest. I am allowed to protect my energy. Rest. I am someone who, if I have an idea in my head or something that I want to get done, it does not matter what else I have done. As long as I have enough energy in my body for my head to be up, I'm trying to get stuff done. And this is something I've had to learn is great when it comes to self-starting. It's horrible when it comes to actually finishing in a good mind state. I'll be tired. I'll be upset. I'll get short with myself. I won't want to talk to people because I'm so dead focused on achieving this thing and this set of time that I'm draining my own energy, and I don't have the energy for communication, for conversations. And eventually I run out of the energy to even get the work done. It's called burnout. Avoid burnout by giving yourself permission to just sit there, to chill, to do nothing, to refresh, to go for a walk, to journal. And then third, just reminding yourself that if you are at peace, if this is something that helps you recenter, refocus, and to feel better, feel recharged, it's allowed. Your peace is sacred. So if you're in a period or a season of rediscovery where you're rebuilding your peace, resetting your priorities, and trying to return to the you that you want to be, I got you. Offer one-on-one coaching to help you find and walk more and more in your purpose, to align spiritually without a whole bunch of woo-woo fluff, and develop emotional intelligence within your relationships and choices. Whether you just started or you've done this work already and just need some guidance around the way to stay in alignment, I'm here to walk with you. So DM me or hit the link in my bio to schedule your first session. Your reset isn't selfish, it's sacred. And you don't have to prove anything to anyone. Not now, not ever, not this week for sure. You just have to protect what matters. Your peace, your clarity, and your direction. If you have those, you'll be able to mitigate any situation that you find yourself in and do it authentically to the person that you are. So until next time, I'll see you next Monday. Stay aligned, stay golden, stay empowered.